Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm your host Jamie and I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. Thanks for tuning in. The theme of this episode is relationship drama. I did just get out of the shower, so my hair is a little bit wet. It's looking a little bit wet today. And I also smell really good. I wish you could smell me through the camera because I got this new vanilla, I don't even know, perfume. And it smells really good. And I'm never one to smell good. I don't smell bad, but I don't have that signature scent. Because sometimes I'll meet my friends up for something or whatever, hang out with my friends. I don't fucking know what I'm saying. I'll be like, oh, you smell so good. And then they smell like that all the time. And then I'm like, I feel like I just smell like nothing, just so neutral. And I want to have that. I want to be that girl. So, but anyways, let's get into it. The title of the first story is I, male 26, asked my girlfriend's female 26 best friend, female 26, on vacation with me when my girlfriend canceled. My girlfriend and I have been together for 3 years now. She is a best friend who is always around, and we have become friends over that time. My girlfriend and I had planned a vacation in August. It's a month-long trip and something we've been planning for years. We both get very good vacation time, so it wasn't a problem. Something came up with her work, and now she cannot go. My girlfriend's best friend is between work right now, and I know she's always wanted to go on a similar trip. I asked her to go, and she said she would love to. She needs cheering up as she's been very down about her job loss and job hunt. I hadn't mentioned the plan to my girlfriend beforehand, and when she found out, she was pissed. She doesn't want me to go on the trip with her best friend. She thought I would take one of my best friends or my brothers, but most of them are working and wouldn't have been able to go even if I had asked. She says she can't support the two of us taking her dream vacation without her, and it's weird that the two of us are planning to vacation alone together. She's barely speaking to me now. I know that it was hard for my girlfriend to miss this, but it wasn't my fault, and I needed someone else to go with. I know I should have discussed it with her beforehand, but I was so upset about trying to find someone to go with. I didn't want to waste any time asking her friend. What? This guy is delusional. Why would you think that is a normal thing to do? Even if you're close with your girlfriend's best friend, you're still that dynamic. It's first of all, your girlfriend will always be closer with her best friend than you are. At least I would hope so. And if not, then reconsider what the hell you're doing with your life. I'm scared. That is weird. What? I would be actually shook. Not only is it weird to do that and to go on vacation with your girlfriend's best friend, it's also weird, even more weird, to not ask your girlfriend beforehand. I mean, just doing that is crazy. But I can't even say that it would change anything. If my boyfriend came to me and asked, I would literally think he was just as idiotic for asking than just going, because that, I don't even know. But clearly it's just crazy to me that he actually thought that that was an okay thing to do, and he's actually being dead ass right now. He's just yeah, I'm going on vacation with my girlfriend's best friend because my girlfriend can't go. Ask literally anyone else. Literally anyone else, please. Some relevant comments. Someone said, "This is very weird. You effed up big time, buddy. This is something you should have discussed with her ahead of time. How would you feel if she were going on a month-long trip with another dude? I get that you are friends with her friend. However, there are certain standards and boundaries one must abide by. You just totally overlooked that." And then he said, "I know I should have discussed it with her. I was excited when her best friend started saying how she wanted to do that trips too, so I asked her. And I thought because it was her best friend, she would be okay with it." It's also weird that her best friend is saying yes. No. If my best friend's boyfriend asked me to go on vacation with him, I would literally call my best friend and be like, "Girl, is he good? Has he been to the doctor recently? Because I don't know what birds are in his brain, but something is going on up there." So people are telling him to scrap the whole trip. And he said, "It's 4 weeks of vacation time I already got off. I would rather go alone than scrap it all together. I'll talk to her again about it." No, I'm sorry. I'd be over it. I would be so over it if I was his girlfriend. I would be like, well, yeah, there's no way you can take that back. You already actually thought that that was a normal thing to do. Okay, there's an edit and it says, I will be meeting with the best friend tonight to apologize for everything, but that it isn't appropriate for her to come and I'll be going alone. I'll let you all know how it goes. And then there's an update, and it's the next day. He said, I met with my girlfriend's best friend. I told her that the trip made my girlfriend uncomfortable, and I could understand why. I said that it would be better if I went alone, and I apologized for inviting her and disappointing her. She got really upset and started going off about how she screwed up her friendships with my girlfriend and me, like she screws up everything, how she's terrible at her job and that's why she was fired, how she's going nowhere in life, how she'll end up alone. She told me that sometimes it's hard to speak to my girlfriend since she's always so positive and nice about everything, but also has a very good life, a good job, a nice boyfriend, and she was jealous of that. She admitted she was looking forward to this trip as a recharge for her, but agreed not to come. She said I was a good boyfriend and hoped she could find someone like me soon. I disagree with this completely, but oh well. We talked for a while and I just got back. I can't actually with that.
If you want extra content weekly, head over to patreon.com/storytimesociety and become a member on there for extra content. Love you.
I don't even think that he should have brought up that it made his girlfriend uncomfortable. I feel like he should have just been like, I thought about it and it's that's not appropriate and I don't know why I thought that it was appropriate. Like, I don't know, guys. I'm like, so what the hell? I just don't understand why people think the way that they do. It's like actually wild to me that anyone would think that that was an okay thing to do. It's just, oh my God, other people are also saying the same thing that I'm saying. People are saying like you used your girlfriend as a scapegoat. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, what do you mean? Like, my girlfriend's not comfortable with it. Or how about you just say, hey, I actually rethought about it and it's pretty weird and inappropriate to do that. So I don't know what I was thinking. The fact that he's 26 years old is also just so surprising to me. I mean, I'm not saying I make all the best decisions all the time, but like you would think 26 is old enough to know right from wrong. I mean, hello? Like, if you were maybe 21, okay, I'd be like, okay, well, you're really young, so maybe you just like don't really have that much experience and you just aren't really emotionally mature and that's something you could work on. I still would be like, that's really weird, and I wouldn't blame your girlfriend for letting you go because I would be so confused if I were her. But there's no other updates or anything, so that is the conclusion, I guess. We're going to move on to the next story, and it's titled, I, 21 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 21 male, for a year, and he mistook my human decency for feminism. Am I the asshole for wanting to end this relationship? Okay. This is also a concluded story, thank God, but let's read. The other day, my boyfriend and I were talking on the phone. He told me about his friend's 23 male relationship and asked for my opinion because he wanted to know the female point of view. Basically, his friend was dating a girl, 19, who did not share his religion. He really wanted her to have the same beliefs, so she decided to convert for him and practice his religion. Eventually, her family decided to disown her, and it caused her a lot of issues and problems. Around the time she converted, they were still in a long-distance relationship. Later on, they met in person and spent 2 weeks together. After those 2 weeks, he decided he didn't have feelings for her, and he broke up with her. 2 days after the breakup, he told my boyfriend that he regretted it and thought he still loved her. Emphasis on thinks. This is when my boyfriend asked for my opinion. I tried to stay neutral and told him I think his friend shouldn't get back together with her because he already decided he doesn't love her. He would just be wasting both her time and his. I added that if he's a good person, he should leave her alone, since he has already caused her enough trouble in her life and then threw her away after spending 2 weeks with her. My boyfriend then told me that he thinks his friend should get back with her, just because the girl is pretty and nice and she actually loves him. I told him that was unfair, because he would be taking advantage of her. You don't love someone just because they're attractive. And that's when he told me that I'm a feminist and that I don't have to make everything about feminism. He said I wasn't being realistic, that I don't know the girl to be on her side, and that I watched too many women empowerment videos. I explained that this has nothing to do with feminism. If the roles were reversed and it was my feelings, and if it was my friend telling me she did this to a guy, I would try to tell her to leave him alone because she caused enough damage already. I would lose all respect for her. You're not supposed to toy with people's feelings or life regardless of gender. I told him I was speaking from the goodness of my heart and that it's just normal human decency. My beliefs are built on a solid foundation. I'm not an idiot. I am a feminist, and I will always be proud of that. But this conversation had nothing to do with it. He seemed very biased towards his friend, which I didn't like at all. On top of that, he lashed out on me for no reason, calling me a feminist as if it were an insult. Now I'm honestly contemplating ending the relationship because of his way of thinking. For context, when I asked my boyfriend if the girl did anything wrong, he said she was an absolute sweetheart and a very kind person. What the hell? Yeah, well, this one is the one where I'm like, okay, well, he's 21, so he's clearly like doing, like, I feel like that's what's going on in his brain. I mean, I'm not really that like surprised at a 21-year-old's thoughts in his brain being that he should get back together with this girl because she's attractive and nice. You know, like, it's not that surprising to me. But yeah, I would break up with him. I would break up with him, girl, and live your early 20s by yourself for a little bit and just like live your life. And that's not in any way. First of all, I mean, that behavior, like, from a man, if a man is going to put down being a feminist to a woman, that's the first red flag. That is the first thing that I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. Like, because yeah, I'm a feminist. I am a feminist. I'm a woman. Like, I know not all women are feminists, but I simply don't want to be friends with you if you're a woman and you're not a feminist. Because how can you not be? Like, so the fact that he's putting her down, saying that she watches too many women empowerment videos and that's like a bad thing. What? Hello? That's not a bad thing, sir. Yeah, I do. And I'm an empowered woman. Do you want me to be powerless? Probably. Probably. Okay, some of the comments that OOP said, not the main reason why he fell in love with me in the first place is because he found me really attractive, and for the longest time it was the only thing he complimented me on, my looks and nothing else, almost like I lacked depth as a person. A lot of the time he gets upset when I disagree with him about certain things, and we always end up arguing about our disagreements. He just doesn't want to agree to disagree. I've explained it to him way too many times that we're not supposed to be the same person or have the same opinions. Each one of us can be their own person, and that is okay. He made some weird comments over the time, but I always stand up for myself, and most of the time, if not all the time, he does acknowledge his mistakes and own up to them and apologize, which is why I chose to stay. He does try to work on these things and try to be better for me. I've always chalked up this behavior to his lack of experience, but now I feel like I shouldn't be doing that. I mean, that even if you do chalk it up to like his lack of experience, that doesn't mean that it's like an excuse for you to stay. Okay, one of the notable comments that this person put in this post, someone said, he uses feminist as an insult because he either believes a false or ignorant narrative on what feminism is, hating men usually, or he doesn't believe women and men should be equal. Either way, it's a compatibility issue. I say break up due to that. The reason is that he doesn't even want to have a conversation about it. He insulted you, called you a feminist as if that was an insult, told you him and his friends perceive a relationship as good enough if the girl is nice and attractive. He doesn't see you for you and doesn't respect you enough to hear you or consider your perspective. His friend persuaded a girl that's barely considered a young adult into changing religions and becoming religious. It resulted in her being disowned. He had a fun 2 weeks and then dumped her. She's vulnerable. She needs to figure herself out with whatever support network she has, not be taken advantage of until the friend becomes bored again. In my opinion, they're both disgusting. I couldn't foresee maintaining a relationship with someone who revealed this behavior and mentality to me. Chances are, if you think back, he probably has been showing you these signs and they went under the radar. And then OP said he does think feminism is centered around hating men, even though I've explained that it's about equality and that everyone, regardless of their gender, should be treated the same way. And I totally agree with you. He does not see me for me. He just thinks I'm pretty and nice, and that's about it. What his friend has done to that poor girl actually broke my heart. She deserves better. Thank you so much for your comment. It did bring me clarity. Yeah, because he lacks emotional depth. That's why he only sees you as a pretty, well, there's probably many reasons why. Because of misogyny, first of all, that's why he only sees you like as a pretty and nice girl. And of course, a guy is going to like a pretty and nice girl. And until they like have beliefs and they actually have depth and they actually maybe aren't nice sometimes. And then it's like a guy like this will absolutely hate that about a girl. But honestly, it's so scary because like I feel like this is so relevant in these days. Like so many, I'm itching my eyes so hard. My eyeball's about to pop out of my head. So many guys, or maybe it's just because I'm chronically online, it's just like I see so much crazy shit about like that red pill men say. And it's really wild to me that like you can actually have like no, like you have insects for a brain if you think that way. But you do you, stay far away from me. And I feel like it's so relevant these days, which I hope that it never comes to this, obviously, because I'm a woman. But it's so, like, it's so scary to think about the fact that what happened, and I know Handmaid's Tale is, like, not an actual real story, but it's genuinely seeming like that is the direction that we're headed in. And it's almost seeming like they're using it as a playbook, like the government is using it as a playbook, because like all the stuff that's going on in Washington DC, just like erasing of like history, erasing of like people's rights, like trying to take away gay marriage and trying to take away like just so many things, trying to take away interracial marriage as well. Like, it's really wild to me. And I feel like as a woman, you really have to think about in this day and age, like if you are with a man that would be, I don't know how to put this, like, would the man that you're with be a good man to be with if you got your rights taken away, you know? And this clearly wouldn't be a good man to be with if you got your rights taken away. Like, I always think about that because obviously it's like so much more prevalent these days. And I always think about the fact that I would be so lucky because my boyfriend is so like, he sees me as an equal. Like he doesn't even think twice about that kind of stuff. Like he sees me as such an equal, and he, you know what I mean? So, and I just know that he would be like a good partner if it were to come to that. And it's scary to have to think that way, but genuinely, if you're a woman, you should start thinking that way if you date men. And just because like you never know, we never know what's going to happen. They're taking away things left and right, left and right. It's crazy. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like every day I wake up to something new and I'm like not even surprised at this point. And it could be the craziest thing happening and I still wouldn't be surprised because of everything that's going on. It's just so wild. And it's like, I don't even know. I feel like I'm not even alive in like real life. I feel like I'm literally in a nightmare. But anyways, there's an update. First, thank you to everyone who gave me advice. You gave me so much clarity, even the ones who basically yelled at me. I have decided to break up with him. Right now, I told him that we should take a break because I need time to figure things out. But honestly, I just need that space to build the courage to end things. My mind is already made up. When I told him I wanted this break, he kind of freaked out and asked if I knew what happens when people take breaks, but I insisted. In my last post, I know he came across as a terrible person. He was not the worst boyfriend on earth. He was actually a good boyfriend in many ways. I loved spending time with him because he's funny, sweet, loving, and fun to be around. The main reason I want to end things is because he does not truly see me for who I am. He doesn't understand me, and he never really tried. I know he loved me in his own way, but it always felt shallow. One thing I should clarify is that I never got intimate with him, and he respected my wishes. From the beginning, I told him I was not willing to do anything physical beyond holding hands and hugging, and he never complained. If I told him something made me uncomfortable, he apologized immediately and did not repeat it. He always listened when I needed to talk and tried to comfort me in his own ways. I'm saying this to not change anyone's mind, but because I feel like I owe it to him to admit that he was good to me in many ways. I also genuinely loved him and once saw a future with him. Unfortunately, I do not see that future anymore. I realized he only valued me for my looks. I remember once asking him why he chose me. My answer for him was that I liked how honest, kind-hearted, sweet, supportive, and respectful he was, and that he celebrated my achievements. I said he seemed like the type of person I would want to grow with. And his answer to me was, because you're beautiful, and it's hard to find girls like you nowadays. You're everything I want in a wife. You would take care of our future family. You know how to cook, and you genuinely care about me. At first, I laughed, thinking he was joking, but he wasn't. Something broke inside of me then, though I tried to excuse it by telling myself that he just did not know how to put feelings into words. Over time, I realized it was not just poor phrasing. He really only cared about how I looked. I could never have a deep conversation with him because he simply lacks depth. He hated feminism and even called me weird for being strong opinionated, saying it would not benefit me because I'm not struggling and no one is bothering me. That's not true. In university, I often get treated like I'm an idiot because of how I look, even though I work very hard as a med student. Some professors treat me with disrespect until they see my exam results, and then they're surprised that I did well. People assume I'm shallow because I'm pretty. He knew all of this, but he dismissed it, telling me I should not fight for my rights or try to earn respect. He also often hated it whenever we disagreed on something. No matter how many times I tried to reason with him and tell him it's okay to agree to disagree, he insisted that we should agree on almost everything because that's how relationships work. I stood by what I said anyway. During arguments, he often tried to twist my words, put words into my mouth, or flip the situation on me. But I always called him out and refused to fall for his manipulation. Only then would he apologize and own up to his mistakes. He once told me that he thought he was the only person in the relationship putting in effort, and that I didn't contribute at all, which completely blew my mind because it was way far away from the truth. I also realized that he took my forgiveness for granted. Sometimes he wouldn't take our arguments seriously when I tried to resolve things maturely by talking them out and hearing each other, because he knew that at the end of the day, I would forgive him. That was something I could never overlook because I only offer that kind of forgiveness to people I truly love and care about. It's a form of vulnerability for me, and seeing him take it for granted broke my heart. That was the breaking point for me. I know now he will never truly understand me or see who I am. Well, it seems like you are very wise beyond your years, because just to be able to even put all of that into words and recognize that is very mature of you. And I also just have to say, a man respecting your bodily autonomy and your decisions to not do certain things is honestly the bare minimum. I think that's just something that a normal human being would do. So that being the only example that she has to give about him being a good guy is definitely telling. The top comment says, I can't believe this woman looked at a man who really said, I like you because you're pretty and can cook for me, and decided that it was a worthwhile relationship. And then someone responded, she said in a comment she hoped he would mature in the relationship. I guess he can do this without her now. Yeah, see, that's why, and this is very relevant lately because one of my best friends from middle school is going through a breakup, and we've been talking a lot recently on the phone. And there's a lot of things that she's mentioned that she's like, I should have realized this was a red flag, and I should have realized this was a red flag. But I just thought because of all these things, these were all such good things in our relationship that, give or take, which is true. You do give or take in or you do give and take in a relationship, but for certain things, I don't even know how to explain it, but if it's the potential or you're wanting to change them as a person in the way that they are in a relationship, don't get in a relationship with them. Because if you're oh, well, I bet you in a couple years he'll think differently, or maybe he will get more mature, or maybe he'll learn more and be more emotionally mature and in a year or two from now. If you're thinking those big things, maybe they'll change in those ways, don't rely on the potential of a man. You need to like them for who they are 99% of the time. And then, yeah, there are those little things that don't really matter. My boyfriend is way too germophobic, and I get really annoyed with it sometimes. But, that's something I can live with, you know, like that's something I can just like help. I don't get annoyed with him about it. I just like try to talk him down from it sometimes. I do get annoyed in my head, but I try not to like show it. But I will be like, I cannot believe you right now. Because like he will be so crazy about things. And just like, even if he sees like one little tiny speck of something, he'll be like freaking out. So yeah, that's like one of the examples. It's like, obviously I am not, that's not like the biggest deal to me. But if it were like he completely lacks depth and he only sees me for the way that I look, I would never get into that relationship and be like, oh, I hope that he ends up seeing me as a person, and maybe sometime he'll humanize me as the actual human being that I am. That's not to say that I pick the right guy every time, though, because I've been through many that I only saw potential in. And even like with my long-term relationship previously, it was a big like potential thing. Like, oh, you will change. You're saying that you'll change. Okay, you'll change. But it was like never gonna happen, because it was like, okay, if he wanted to change, he would have changed. Now it's been 4 years. He would have changed the 17th time he said he would have changed, or maybe the third time or fourth, like, you know. So yeah, it's hard. It can be hard, and I understand, especially when you find someone that you really like and you like just kind of want to ignore that, even though it's something that you know is like probably a deal breaker. But sometimes it can feel so rare to like feel a certain way about a person that you want to like grasp onto it so tight, and you're just like, I want to be with this person so badly. Like, I can ignore these big things that bother me because they could potentially change in the future, when in reality, like, you'll find someone else that you feel that way about. It might take a little bit, but you will. Like, there's not just one person that you're going to feel that way about. But the title of the next story is, I Need Advice. I'm breaking up while my girlfriend is away with her other partner. And this was posted in Non-Monogamy. For some background, my girlfriend, 28 female, and I, 28 male, have been together for about 6 years. We talked about opening during lockdown, but only started acting on it when it was safe again. The first 2 years were basically one-sided, with me not having any success while she kept meeting new people. I had a lot of emotional work to do, but eventually I worked on myself and managed a few flings of my own. Dating became her main social outlet, and she pushed for poly, which created a lot of resentment on my side. To her credit, I kept it to myself, so that's on me. A year ago, I met an amazing woman, 25 female, through a shared hobby and had an immediate connection. She was just out of a serious relationship, so being a secondary, I hate that term, worked for her until she was ready to start looking for a new mono relationship. I did not expect the jealousy from my girlfriend at that new connection. I feel like I've put up with a lot from her constantly dating, and the first time I have something more serious, she melts down. About a month ago, my new partner admitted that she'd be interested in going mono with me, which I did not give a solid answer to or disclose to my girlfriend. Friday evening, my girlfriend left for a week away with one of her main partners, 33 male. It was planned and happened before, but seeing her leave really broke the emotional dam for me. I don't think I'm made for poly or ethical non-monogamy. I started moving my things to my parents' home over the weekend and agreed to be mono with my new partner. I'm spiraling a bit. Both my parents and my new partner think I should tell my girlfriend and not have to find out when she comes back. I think it's better not to ruin her vacation and to have a clean break afterward. My reasoning is that she won't be alone. She has all her partners to help her out. Also, I'll pay my share of the rent while she looks for new apartments if she'd rather not keep our current place. What would you rather have me do if you were my girlfriend in my girlfriend's shoes? I'm sorry if the post is a bit all over the place. I mean, I would probably tell her while she's on her vacation. I get that you don't want to ruin her vacation, and honestly, like, I see that coming from, I think, a good place. I don't think that it's like him, I don't know, maybe not, but I feel like it's coming from a good place. I would definitely rather just know, though, while I'm on vacation, and then, like, she can figure it out from there. Some relevant comments. Someone said, my ex-spouse told my meta before me that they didn't love me anymore. Honestly, it felt worse than the breakup. Please tell her soon. You've already told everyone else close to you. Your soon-to-be ex should not have been the last to know. And then OOP said, I only told my parents because I'll be crashing with them. And my new partner, none of our mutuals know. And then someone else said, not sure if it's right or wrong, but like you, I would probably wait until she's back from her vacation. Either way, you're going to give her the bad news. Might as well let her enjoy the vacation, or very least prevent her from using that as a justification for further blame. And then there's an edit, and he said, thanks for the feedback. I'll be home to have the talk with her when she comes back. No point ruining her vacation. I'm also slowing down on the moving stuff out part. I was being dramatic, and we can sort how we split some things out. Well, that's good. Okay, so there's an update. It says, I received a few requests for an update, so here's a follow-up to my post. As I said, I slowed down moving my things out to my parents and waited for her to get home to avoid running into her, ruining her vacation. She came back Thursday night, the week of the previous post, and I went to meet her at the train station. She had her partner still with her, but I managed to get her home. We had the talk. This was my biggest breakup to date, so it got a bit emotional on both ends. She basically offered to slow down with her other partners, and then monogamy. I declined and went to sleep at my parents'. There's not much else to say. It wasn't super dramatic in the end. We spent the past 10 days figuring out logistics. But as someone who lurked on the sub for a long time, this was my first time confronting the advice given here to a real life situation. If you're thinking of posting here too, keep in mind that there's a lot of noise. People projecting, people who have it out against ethical non-monogamy, and also ethical non-monogamy people that are a bit disconnected from the broader mono world. Not to say that there weren't any useful comments, especially the people who talked about being ghosted by their live-in partner. I had never planned to not have a talk in person, but these comments really helped empathize with her in perspective the most, I think. Anyways, thank you. Okay, well, that's good. I mean, it's good that you got that figured out. I feel like that can be such a sticky situation and can be so hard to figure out. I don't even know the half of it because I've never been in a non-monogamous relationship, but I can only assume if you're not like 100% wanting that, it could be really hard and complicated. And I feel like that's just a part of life, is figuring things out. And maybe you thought that you wanted that in the beginning, but you came to the point where you realized you didn't. And that's okay. The top comment says, not gonna lie, I low-key love this drama on Reddit. The kind of shit I would never entertain in my life is just voyeur levels of fun to read about. Yeah, especially when it's not something like too crazy, because sometimes it's like really upsetting almost. We're gonna move on to the advice segment and confession segment. Okay, so if you ever want unprofessional advice from me, heavy on the unprofessional, there's a Google form in the description, and you can go fill out, either put ask for advice or put a confession. You'll see once you click the link, it will give you instructions. And you can also call and leave a confession or ask for advice on the phone number that we have. You can just leave a voicemail. The number is 561-264-7017. Today, we have a little advice question. And this person says, trigger warning. Background, I am 19, female. When I was a girl, mainly ages 10 to 12, I was groomed by my grandfather. Normal grooming stuff. Love bombing, lots of gifts, telling me he didn't know what he would do without me, stuff like that. He would touch me in inappropriate ways and hold on to me so tightly that it would bruise my shoulder. Luckily, I listened to the Holy Spirit because he tried to guilt trip me into getting into bed with him one night. We were staying at a hotel and I was sleeping on the couch. I almost did, but I felt an overwhelming feeling not to, and I froze in place. Thank God, literally, that I didn't. I don't even want to think about what would have happened if I had gotten in bed with him that night. We never pursued anything except a restraining order. He also would stalk me. During this time and all growing up, he would talk about this neighborhood girl who would always come visit him. Well, now that we know he is definitely a pedo, I'm worried that he did something to her. My question is, should I reach out to her? Should we try to seek justice, or is it too late? Do you think reaching out to her would cause her to relive too much stuff, or do you think it would make her feel seen, that she was not the only one? Let me know. Thank you. Oh gosh, that's so hard. Honestly, I feel like this is something that is just such a serious situation. And I think that if you feel like you want to seek justice, I think you should try to seek justice. If that is something that you think in your heart and your brain that you will feel better about doing so, I would definitely do that. And if you would like regret not doing it, I think that I wouldn't encourage you if that's something that you wouldn't want. If you wouldn't want to deal with having to go through like the legal side of it or go through and try to seek justice. But if that's something that you're thinking about doing, I think that you should definitely listen to yourself and do it. As for the reaching out, this is such a hard thing. It's because I don't know, like, I'll say that what I would do. I feel like this is a very, very specific and very, I don't know what to call it. It's obviously very serious and it's something I've never personally dealt with, but I'll put myself in your shoes for a second. I probably would reach out and I would be like, hey, I am just wondering if you would ever feel open or comfortable talking to me on the phone or meeting up with me for coffee or something. I know that I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I feel like maybe I would just want to meet up with her and be like, because I don't know if it would be like triggering to be like, I want to talk to you about my grandpa or something. And I feel like, oh, that's so hard. That's really hard. I'm wondering if anyone listening has any advice for this person that has maybe gone through something similar or witnessed something similar with a friend or a family member, because I think that would probably be better than me spewing a bunch of stuff that I literally don't know anything about. First of all, I do want to say that I'm so sorry you had to go through that, and I'm so glad that you know, hopefully are doing better and are in a better place. Obviously, you're not with him anymore or having to be around him, and that is really important. But I do think that if you did end up reaching out to her and that is something that she was comfortable in talking about, because I do think that there probably is a way that you can reach out to her and talk to her about this. I'm just not really sure how I would go, like how to go about it. I know like how I would probably go about it, but I don't know if it's the right thing to do. But I do think that if that was something that she also experienced, I'm sure it would feel better having someone to talk to and having someone that also went through the same exact thing. I feel like if I had been through that situation, and I'm just empathizing at this point because I've never been through that situation, but if I were her, I would definitely feel a lot more validated and heard. I mean, I think in a lot of situations, even not this specific situation, but usually talking to other people that have gone through similar things can really help you feel so much less alone. And you never know, like maybe she's going through a really hard time dealing with it, and maybe you reaching out to her would really help her. But I do think that this is probably a little bit more serious than me just like telling you something to say. And I would not want to give any misleading advice, especially because I don't know anything about that personally, if that makes sense. So if you have been through something similar, or you've experienced or like witnessed someone close to you go through something similar and you have a little bit better advice to give, please leave it in the comments, and remember to be kind, of course, as always. I love you so much, and thank you so much for leaving that advice question. I wanted to talk really quickly because before I started filming this, I saw this crazy thing on TikTok where this girl that does nail sets has been putting live animals in her nail sets. Live animals, which is just actually like I had to see the proof for myself because I actually could not believe that. Like, that is the most insane thing to me. There were tree frogs. She put them encapsulated into her nails and poked little holes so that they would have air to breathe. But like, what is wrong with you? And then ladybugs too was another one. It's like, are you okay? What the hell? And they weren't even cute. It's like they were just big, thick freaking lumps with holes in them and frogs in there. Like, that is literally so insanely torturous to do to live beings. And this is what we've been talking about lately, is the fact that people think that just because something is little means that their life means less. Like, that's just so, and obviously some occasional, like, I really hate a cockroach. Like, I really hate a cockroach, and I'm sorry, but I don't mind seeing a cockroach die because I really hate it. But like, and I hate to pick and choose, but I don't know, cockroaches scare the actual shit out of me. But still, like, I wouldn't want them to be suffering and like freaking not being able to breathe or eat or move and just being trapped in, like, no, I would kill them in a humane way, but don't use them. And it's like a medieval torture device. Like, what is wrong with you? People are crazy. And the crazy thing is, as well, is like, it's heavily motivated by social media and wanting to get likes. Like, that's what a lot of stuff is about nowadays, like the rage baiting of it all. And like, we talked about Bonnie Blue and like her a whole spiel of like underage or not underage but barely legal, she calls them. Like, that kind of stuff is just so crazy to me, and it's all for the sake of like getting views and getting likes and getting engagement. And that's just crazy that people can go that far, like so far as to put live animals into your nails just to take content with it. And what do you think people are going to be like, wow, those are so cute, I want those? Like, did you really think people were going to react that way? Like, you actually have something wrong with you. That is insane. I just can't even imagine ever doing something like that. So yeah, I just wanted, if you're interested, it's on TikTok. There's a lot of TikToks about it. You could literally probably just look up tree frogs inside nail and it would come up because people are going crazy about it, which understandably so. But anyways, that's all I really wanted to talk about. I am gonna go, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Please let me know what you thought in the comments. If you have any advice as well for the advice segment, that would be amazing. Sorry I couldn't be of more help with that situation, but I love you guys so much, and I really appreciate you and everything that you do for me. Goodbye.
Storytime Society is now available on all listening platforms. If you are on any of those listening platforms, I would really appreciate it if you rated me 5 stars. Thanks for all the support.
Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.